What's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Bacon and you're watching the one and only Bacon's Drinks channel here on YouTube. And today's cocktail will feature a very unique blend of Tiki and Southern flavor. It is called the Carolina Peach Mai Tai. This recipe comes from a scratch kitchen restaurant chain called Tupelo Honey, which is found predominantly in the South and all throughout the Midwest. And if you guys are fortunate enough to live next to a location, I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. And I would also highly recommend purchasing one of their cookbooks. That is, of course, where I got today's recipe. It features tons of great food recipes as well as great cocktails. Now, one thing I wanted to highlight real quick before we get into the video is that in the Tupelo Honey recipe book, they specify that they always like to use local rum from local distilleries if at all possible. And naturally, today I wanted to follow suit and I wanted to highlight some absolutely amazing rums that Louisiana makes. And the first rum I wanted to showcase today is Bayou white rum, and it is definitely one of my favorite white rums to use. I use it in tons of cocktails that call for a relatively unaged white rum. Its flavor profile is completely unique to any other rum that I've ever tasted. That's probably because it's made exclusively from sugar cane grown right here in Louisiana. And it's also surprisingly smooth for a white rum. It also has a slight tinge of sweetness that I absolutely enjoy. And the second rum I wanted to showcase today is called Sweet Crude Rum. This rum is also very unique, and I've never tasted another rum like it as well. And it's also made from sugar cane sourced right here in Louisiana. And what makes it so unique is that it's actually made from sugar cane syrup, which does make it kind of a distant cousin to the rum agricole. When you taste this rum, there's a slight sweetness to it, but it also has a very slight grassy taste that you would find in rum agricole and cachaça. All right, guys, so today's cocktail contains 9 ingredients, so let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, and first, the recipe calls for 2 dashes of Bittermens Elemakule Tiki bitters, which hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And since I don't have a dasher, I'm just gonna do 8 drops. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. And then we're going to do ½ ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. Always use fresh squeezed juices, guys. It makes all the difference in the world. And then we're going to do ½ ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. All right. And then we're also going to do ½ ounce of fresh squeezed pineapple juice. So yes, you do need to have fresh pineapple juice for this recipe. The recipe does call for it specifically. Right. And next we're going to do ½ ounce of ginger syrup. I'm using BG Reynolds today. All right. And next we're going to do a full ounce of peach nectar. I'm using Kerns, which is actually my favorite brand to go to whenever I'm using any sorts of canned nectar. There's a lot of other brands out there that are great, but in my opinion, Kerns has just the freshest product. All right. All right, and next we're going to do 1 full ounce of Cointreau. The original recipe specifies triple sec, but I didn't have just regular triple sec on hand, and I figured Cointreau would do just fine. All right, guys, and finally we get to our rum base. The recipe calls for 1½ ounces of white rum, so we're just going to do 3/4 ounce of each. We're going to do 3/4 ounce of Bayou white rum. All right. And then we're going to do 3/4 ounce of Sweet Crude rum. All right, guys, that's it for the body of the cocktail. Let's go ahead and add our ice. All right, guys, as always, I'm using pebble ice from Sonic today. We're going to do 1 full scoop of pebble ice directly into the tin. And now let's go ahead and give it a quick whip shake. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our old-fashioned glass ready. All right, just shake long enough to get that dilution and get that chill on the drink. All right, that should be good enough. And we're going to pour unrestrained right into our double old-fashioned glass. It's actually a lot of liquid. And of course, we're going to fill it the rest of the way up with ice. Try to make sure your pebble ice is as cold as possible, guys. If it's tempered, it will definitely make the drink very watery. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of a cap there. All right, that's perfect. All right, guys, now it's time to garnish. The original recipe calls for a lime wheel and a pineapple and cherry skewer. But since I have all this incredible fresh mint here, I didn't want to let it go to waste. So we're going to be garnishing it with a mint sprig, or a mint pluche to be exact. And plus, the mint garnish is a very common garnish in the tiki world. In almost all Mai Tais, at least the ones that I remember off the top of my head, are garnished with a mint sprig. All right, guys, so now we have our nice mint flutes. Let's go ahead and activate the oils to get those mint oils nice and fragrant. And we'll go ahead and put it right down into the cocktail, just like that. Perfect. And then, per the original recipe, we will be garnishing with a pineapple and cherry skewer as well. I'm gonna put it down into the cocktail just like that. And no, we're not done quite yet, guys. I figured since this is a Carolina Peach Mai Tai, I figured it would be more than appropriate to garnish with some fresh white peach slices. I'm gonna put the white peach slice just right in there, just like that. So there it is, guys, the Carolina Peach Mai Tai. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. It looks absolutely amazing. I love these garnishes. Gonna express that mint. Here we go. So that is absolutely delicious, and it doesn't taste quite like you think it would. So this cocktail is very interesting. You would expect it to be tremendously sweet and juice forward, but it's not that at all. It's actually a fairly dry cocktail, and I think that has to do with the full ounce of Cointreau that is in the mix there. And the combination of the tiki spices, pineapple, ginger, and peach is a very unique combination that I can't think of that are in any other tiki cocktails or in any other cocktails, and they actually go together very, very well. But out of those ingredients, I definitely taste the ginger the most. Ginger can be a very powerful flavor, especially if you let it steep in the syrup for a long period of time. And BG Reynolds wild ginger syrup, it is a pretty heavy ginger syrup. And I'm getting the split base between the sweet crude rum and the Bayou rum showing through there as well, and it's actually pretty good. And I know I may sound surprised, but usually I don't drink Mai Tais with just white rum only. Whenever I usually drink my Mai Tais, which I'll be making one on the channel a little bit later in a later video, I usually like to drink my Mai Tais with aged rums. Hardly ever do I put unaged rums in a Mai Tai, but in this case, it just works and it's absolutely delicious. So that's it once again, guys, the Carolina Peach Mai Tai. Be sure to give it a try if you can get all the ingredients. It's absolutely delicious. And as per usual, if you like the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more of my content in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you can, please leave a comment. That helps get the algorithm going. If you guys have any questions about the ingredients, or if you have any future video recommendations, I'd like to hear those as well. And as always, I will see you guys